All right, welcome back. We're going to talk about young people in these upcoming elections. There's a few names here and there that have popped up. Overwhelmingly, there seems to be a lot of children of politicians who have also made it through. But we're joined now from Abuja studios by Femi Bitoye to help us talk about this. Thanks a lot for joining us, Femi. I want to start off with, what are your impressions so far on young people and all the primaries that have been held across board? Do you think there's been enough of an inroad made by young Nigerians so far?
Okay, thank you, Ebuka. As we can see, the political space towards 2023, it's a bit dynamic, and the young people that have come forth to present themselves, I think we are having an increased number, because if we looked at it before the Not Too Young to Run bill was signed, we have like 24%. After that, in 2019, we have close to 35%. But in this 2023, we've seen an increase in numbers, and we need to redig our strategies as young people, because there's a wind that is blowing, and for us to really get involved in it, to increase our numbers, we need to look beyond some certain nuances that we used to play to.
Yeah, I hear you, but a lot of people celebrated, of course, and rightfully so, the Not Too Young to Run bill, which became law in the country. But I think after that, people have now realized that there's a lot more hindrances to being a part of this system for young people. Money has always been a part of the conversation. Are young people ever going to be able to raise this kind of funds that we hear that it takes to win an election? Then we saw what happened with Banky W over the weekend, where he was announced as the winner of an election, of a primaries of the PDP. His name was all over the newspapers the next day. 2 days later, we hear he's no longer the candidate. I don't know what the situation is with that right now with the party. But I saw a lot of young people who said, if this is what happens with politics, I never want to be a part of it. So scenarios like this are also sort of putting it in people's heads that this might not necessarily be the kind of system I want to be a part of. What do you say to that?
Okay, Nigerian democracy is still in the budding process. And if you looked at it, you talked about the issue of money. Money is the big elephant in the room, and we can't take it out of the whole equation. That's why you see youth, it's always advisable to go for probably National Assembly, State Assembly, where you cover little constituency. I was having a conversation with a friend. I told him, I said, you can consider going for House of Rep, because Mushin constituency 1 covers like just few areas. And with that, it gives you entrance and a say in the whole scheme of things. On the issue of Banky W, it's so unfortunate, and I believe PDP will know that they are playing with a time bomb, because for good PR, Banky W will be there for PDP. And for what we saw the video where the vote was counted, that he defeated the other guy, I think Barrister Sam Ivoji. And after some minutes, like they always say that 24 hours is too much in politics. And it's quite unfortunate, but we believe something needs to be done, because we don't trust the system. When it comes to politics in Nigeria, 3 things are very, very important to an average Nigerian youth. We looked at what? Cynicism, because we believe that an average politician in Nigeria, they go there for selfish inclination and polarization. And of course, the polarization comes in 2 ways. We are polarized, and we also polarize ourselves. However, what has happened with Banky W shouldn't disenfranchise some of us that are interested in politics. You might look at PDP, you might look at APC, you might look at the third force, but you have to first of all do analysis of your local environment. Because in politics, it is not just about, I don't like PDP, I don't like APC. What if that is the platform that could give you an entrance? We've seen 1 or 2 youths that have done well, regardless of the platform that has brought them into power. So we need to understand that it is not really fine. We might look at the party, like you said in the first session. The person talked about, we might not look at APC and PDP as a whole, but we might begin to look at what? Individual. And the individual must analyze what is going on in my locality. You can look at it and say, okay, I've got entrance into PDP in my local area. Why not just me ride on the bandwagon of the PDP and get in and get what I needed to get as youth? And you might look at it, both APC and PDP in my area, they're not doing well. I can ride on my personality. Then what do you have to do? You have to go in, probably look at the third force. But I want to advise our youth, going into 2023, we don't need scattergun approach. We can't be fragmented. We need to have a united front if we really need to have a say in Nigerian politics, because 2023 is a major factor determinant. And we need to tell the old guards, because they've been making us to feel as if we don't understand politics. We need to let them know that, see, you have not created any corporate vision for us. From 1960, from the First Republic to now, nothing has changed. So we need to begin to look at it like, you know what, take the bad seat. Why not just shift a bit and see new generation, see new energy, and see new ideas into the Nigerian political space. We've seen what has been happening online in the past couple of months. These are kind of the energy we intend to bring into the political system, but we have to be strategic about it.
Very quickly now, before we go, very, very quickly, I mean, it looks like we're starting to build political dynasties here very strongly. I saw a long list of people in politics whose kids won primary elections over the weekend. I think it was about 9 or 10 names I saw. Is that a good thing, you think? Yeah, because we open the door for young people, but the kind of young people that might be coming in are also people that are like an extension of the old guard. Does that work for our democracy, maybe?
Okay, you know, earlier I talked about polarization, that we polarize ourselves sometimes. You see, the truth is we need to understand that we need to come with a united front. Some are advantage. Of course, maybe we have the Okowa, the Iboris, the El-Rufais. They've got the advantage. But we should realize that they shouldn't be as bad as the old guards. So what we need to do as individuals is we need to get involved. So how do we get involved? We don't need to start saying, oh, because she's Okowa's daughter, we have to speak against her. No, it's a new generation, new energy. There are people that we think we should be able to connect with them. So we can't throw them away because they belong to the dynasty of the old guards. What we need to do is find a way to engage them. We need to understand the electoral process, then engage this youth. We need to come with a united front. Either we like it or not, it's still our time. And when we don't come with a united front, it might be a disservice to us, because one of the things that this old guard used against us is, and I think one political analyst said something, Demola Rewaju, said, when you join politics, your fellow youth, they will look at you as politicians. And politicians, they will look at you as what? As a youth. You see the problem? So we need to stop this stereotyping and begin to embrace ourselves, go with a united front, then begin to change the dynamics about Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Olufemi Bitoye, for joining us. We need to go now. Looking forward to having more conversations like this, and looking forward to the weeks and months ahead, but most importantly, the APC presidential primaries holding in about 6 to 7 days from now. And hopefully everything goes peacefully and election season continues to move on smoothly. I'll see you next Sunday. My name is Ebuka. Have a great week.